You know the feeling when you finally find a fridge that looks good on paper, but you're still wondering if it's going to survive the chaos of daily life, big grocery runs, late-night snack raids, and the occasional forgotten leftovers that turn into a science experiment. You want something that won't scream for attention every time the compressor kicks on, that actually holds enough room for a family-sized meal prep routine, and that justifies its price tag beyond a laundry list of features. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. When I started digging into the LG Smart French Door refrigerator, the first thing that caught my eye was the sheer volume, 31.7 cubic feet. That's the kind of space you need if you're the type who does the monthly bulk shop, fills up freezer bags with homemade soup, and still wants a spot for a birthday cake that doesn't have to sit on the countertop. But size alone isn't everything. A fridge that's too big for your kitchen layout can become a nightmare to move, and the energy bill can creep up if the unit isn't efficient. That's where LG's Smart Inverter compressor steps in. Unlike the older single-speed compressors that hum constantly, this inverter design ramps up and down based on demand, which means it stays quieter and uses less electricity during those long stretches when the door stays closed. I've spoken with a few people who live in suburban homes with open-concept kitchens, and they told me the biggest daily pain point is uneven cooling. One of the most common complaints about older French doors is that the freezer side ends up colder than the fridge side, leading to soggy veggies on the top shelf and ice crystals forming in the freezer. LG's multi-air flow system promises to circulate air more evenly, and from the handful of user reports I've seen, it does seem to keep the temperature consistent across all shelves. That matters when you're juggling a tray of fresh herbs on the middle shelf while a batch of ice cream sits on the lower freezer drawer. You're less likely to end up with a half-melted mess. Now, let's talk about the internal water dispenser. It's tucked right inside the door, which keeps the exterior clean and reduces the chance of spilling water on the kitchen floor. If you have a family that drinks water straight from the fridge throughout the day, that convenience can shave a few seconds off every refill. However, it does mean you'll need a water line installed behind the unit, which isn't a big deal for new builds, but can be a hurdle in a rental or a kitchen that wasn't originally set up for a plumbed dispenser. Some people prefer the external spout because you can grab a glass without opening the door, saving a bit of cold air loss. So, if you're okay with a little extra installation work, the internal dispenser is a sleek, space-saving choice. The stainless steel finish looks modern, but it does have a practical downside: fingerprints. In a busy household, the door panels will get smudged quickly, and you'll need a microfiber cloth handy to keep the look pristine. That's a small maintenance chore, but it's worth noting if you value a spotless appearance for photo-ready kitchens. One of the hidden trade-offs with a fridge this size is the footprint. The unit measures just over 35 inches wide, which can dominate a compact kitchen island or a narrow pantry opening. I've measured a few typical kitchen layouts, and you'll want at least a 2-foot clearance on each side for the doors to swing fully without hitting cabinets or a wall. If your space is tight, you might need to rethink the layout or consider a slimmer side-by-side model instead. Energy consumption is another practical factor. The Smart Inverter compressor is rated for higher efficiency, and LG lists an Energy Star certification for this model. In real-world terms, families have reported seeing a modest dip, maybe a few dollars a month, in their electric bills compared to older models that run on constant-speed compressors. Over the life of the appliance, that savings can help offset the higher upfront price. Speaking of price, the LG Smart French Door sits in the premium tier. It's not a bargain, and the average shopper will be weighing whether the tech features justify the cost. If you're someone who enjoys the latest connected home gadgets, like being able to get a temperature alert on your phone or adjusting the settings via a voice assistant, this fridge integrates with LG's ThinQ app and can be controlled through common smart home platforms. That can be a nice perk, but it's also a feature that can sit unused if you don't already have a smart home ecosystem. So, who should hit the add to cart button for this refrigerator? First, families or roommates who regularly purchase in bulk and need the extra freezer space for meat, frozen meals, or seasonal items. Second, tech-savvy homeowners who already have smart devices and want that extra layer of convenience, like checking the internal temperature from the couch.